Oh, welcome back to 2 p.m. with a Trigger. You are in for a great one today. I promise you. Welcome back. As always, we're here with 2 p.m. with a Trigger, normally to help you shine on camera and shine on stage because we want to elevate you and your brand. But today, this week, in fact, we're elevating people that stutter. That's right. It's National Stutter Awareness Week. And all week long at 2 p.m., I'm going to feature other people, speakers, influencers, leaders, CEOs that stutter because we want to let you know what it is, what it's not, how it impacts us. And we know it does impact you as well because everyone wants everyone to succeed. And when you see someone that stutter, it really makes it awkward. It really makes it difficult for everybody. And our guest today knows that very, very well. Let me give you a little introduction to Patrick. Patrick is a speaker, a business resilience coach, a chief courage hacker. Underline that one. I've never heard that before. He's from Raleigh, and a courage and self mastery company is what he runs. They develop in house courage coaches, champions, and cheerleaders. And I'm going to stop there because Patrick was too cool to keep backstage. He was moving and grooving to the music. Patrick, great to see you.
I was like, is that a way to get me going? That did get me going.
Patrick, it's so great to have you. And again, I know we talked several weeks ago, and this whole idea of I stutter is something that you naturally talk about. You're not afraid about putting that out there, are you?
No, and it interestingly, it is not something that came easily. It took over 30 years to really get to the point where you like let somebody else
Well,
worry about it.
and I was teasing you backstage, but you're a two-time class valedictorian. You're in the embodiment and courage-based leadership, and you understand courage and hacking. Is that because of your stutter? Does that become because of what you had to overcome?
That's the thing. And the man above doesn't make mistakes. He gave you one thing because he knows you can use that to accomplish something else.
Mm-hmm.
And I m- pretty much, my mom said she first observed that I started around age 8 or so. But the entire stuttering started to define me after age 13 when there was this huge event in my life. My mom left Liberia. She had to leave because of political, travel,
Mm-hmm.
all those kind of things that don't fit, that a child would never understand. And I just went downhill from there. I totally forgot that I started for the first 12 years of my life. Mom around,
Wow.
mom holds in your hand, holds in her hand your, self-esteem, your self-belief. Each morning you get up, my mom is there, I'm fine. Now she's not there. My entire life, and I allow it to be defined by stuttering.
Wow. So let me understand this. In school, you stuttered, like became valedictorian, but you skipped school because you stuttered. So your stutter really impacted your education. Did it impact your friendships with people? How deep did that go?
Well, it did because in right, right in middle school was when I graduated first as the class valedictorian, and I didn't know what it was. They said, "Oh, you have to speak." Me? No, that's not what I signed up for. I just
You-
wanted to prove to somebody that I was much more than my stuttering. But speaking, nah.
well, right. And there's a self worth
Correct.
that everyone wants to be loved. Everyone wants to be seen as real and authentic. And I felt that through my early stutter and through my years, it was like everyone else around me was cool.
Correct.
And then I would walk in the room and everything became very uncool. It's hard to go through that, isn't it?
It is difficult because like when my mom left, I turned into a whole different person. I spent my time pretty much learning like crazy in order to compensate for my stuttering. So I became this. kid who you really want to laugh at because he stuttered, but need him to coach you, with your lesson. So it was that catch-22
Well,
situation, but
and
it's
and
pretty much
and
self-image.
well, that's what a lot of people think. They think stutters are, I'm just going to say, stupid. We don't have the brains. We don't have the brilliance. When in fact, your story alone proves it. But many others, we're highly intelligent. The problem is we can't get it from here to here.
Correct. And the primary reason was because we had this whole, well, our focus was on everybody else and what everybody else thought, and
Yes.
how we stack up with that cool guy who could just say what he wants to say, who could just go up to the girl in high school and talk, and you standing there, hello, my name is Patrick. We wanted to be that.
Well, and that's a great illustration because a lot of time we do feel we're in the groove. Everything's cool. And a moment later, we cannot get that one or two words out. And it unravels us, but
Goes
also
downhill.
it unravels the people around us, doesn't it?
It's and that's the thing, because nobody know how to react. And in my case, a lot of people you run into are speech therapy. Everybody is a speech therapy. Everybody have stuttered before, and they can tell you, okay, how to behave. I'm like, don't you know that I know this and I've tried this all these years?
But that is part of the problem. People do want to finish our sentences. They want to step in. When I know from my mother as a far worse stutter than I do now, but my mother wants to fight through the words. She wants to say, this is my mouth, this is my brain, these are my
Right.
ideas. I want to say it. And some people just don't understand the importance of that to people that stutter, right?
Yes. There's a difference between self-esteem, confidence, and self-image. Pretty much self-esteem is how we feel about ourselves. Confidence is completely situational.
Mm-hmm.
But self-esteem, not self-esteem, self-image completely controls everything. And when we, like, for a long time, I will refer to myself as a stutterer.
That was your label. That
That was
that
my
that,
label.
that totally defined you.
That's the identity. And the minute that identity kicks in, it's hard to get past it. There were times I would even, be on stage and I would tell people, hey, I've given myself permission to stutter. I gave you permission to laugh, be uncomfortable, whatever emotion you choose to feel.
Yes.
Now, because I started to, there's this thing I learned, Rich. Not only accept me, but embrace me.
So I learned that. And it took me a long time to learn that. Long after my broadcasting career and I was speaking on stages, I would still get frustrated when the tongue and the brain didn't work.
Correct.
I finally realized I can leverage that as a humor piece, as an educational piece, and I can just embrace it and say, oops, there it was. And when I did that, it didn't beat me up emotionally like it used to. And that was very liberating to make it clear, this is who I am, this is what you get, and I'm okay, so you can be okay. It was an amazing change when you learn to do that. When did that happen for you?
It is actually, as a matter of fact, my logo, that's return on energy. It is return on energy. If you feel comfortable, people will quickly get past that and start to look at substance. Anybody. And for me, so it was probably 2004, 2003. I'm in this job working for this bank, and they told us, go to school, get a degree, get the degrees. That's what they told us. All right. I get the degree, apply for roles. I'm not getting the roles, Rich. I'm like, what's happening? I apply for something that I'm way overqualified, and they say you are way overqualified. I apply for something I'm qualified. I'm not getting anything. I apply for something that I'm, slightly above my pay grade. You want to take the risks? I getting it. Then this one time, there was a friend of mine who was on the interview panel. He's a manager, and he called me aside. He said, "You didn't get that role, that particular one, because the panel was worried that your stuttering would get in the way."
Yes.
Imagine that, Rich. How it's like somebody take a knife and just hit it right in your solar plex.
Yes. Been there. And many stutters, that is the wall, that is the block to get to where they want to get to.
Yes.
But you got there somehow because look at you. You have a career, you're a businessman, you're a consultant, you speak.
Because right after that, I said, I've had enough. Let somebody else worry about it. I mean, those words, let someone else worry about it. I was so frustrated. I was so demoralized that I'm like, I've had it.
Yeah.
I am done shaming myself because every night you come home, guys, I stutter in this person. I can't even call my own name. After that, I'm like, I'm done. Let somebody else worry about it. And that is how everything, it was like life started to unfold. And now today, people say, okay, dude, how do you walk in a room and you know everybody and I'm like,
well, it is a mental, it's a mental change, emotional change. It's a freedom now. It's a total shift.
It's a transformational shift. And when we talk about transformation, 6 shifts have to occur. 1, your mindset. 2, lifestyle. 3, habit shift. 4, identity shift. Then there's a shift in your superpower, your special power. In this case, stuttering became my superpower. And the last one, you got to upgrade your tools, the tools of the trade, improve your speaking. So, in as much as you stutter, let's take stutter and put it aside. You still have to grow as a person. You still have to build a lot of other things. But those are the 6 transformational shifts that have to occur. But the most important is the mindset that I started to use stuttering as my superpower.
Everybody watching, listening, replaying, you just got schooled on transformation from a guy that stutters, which is the great thing about this. When we're in our zone, when we're in that space of genius, this disappears and we just flow, don't we?
It does. I was talking at what is it, a men's retreat, and a guy said, "You don't stutter when you and that's the thing, because when we are so passionate about things and it comes from the heart,
yes,
you don't have to process all the logic, and I have gotten to the point where I pursue confidence over fluency. I pursue what is functional over fluency, and the rest takes care of itself.
Patrick Meniboon. There's a lot more we could talk about here, man. But thank you. I've been sharing your LinkedIn profiles. You might get some new love out there. But please, everyone connect with Patrick. And again, out of all of this, if you know someone who stutters, especially a child, encourage them. Encourage them to dream, to step into their dreams, because the more people understand what this is and what it's not, the more free and liberating it is for that stutter to break through. Patrick, you are a glowing example, man. Thanks for being here today. Really appreciate it.
Thanks for having me, Ray. This was a lot of fun.
Patrick Meniboon. And again, I'm also going to highlight someone you know very well. You've seen him in movies and television. He's done everything on film and screen. Did you know that Bruce Willis stutters? In fact, Bruce Willis' story very much overlays Patrick's, where in school, it was horrible. It was a disaster, as it was for me. Here's a quote from Bruce Willis when he was receiving an award with President Biden, excuse me. He said, the hardest thing I remember was being a kid and stuttering. My advice to people in the room is to never let anyone make you feel like an outcast, because you will never be an outcast. He then went on and began to tear up when he gave a quote from Eleanor Roosevelt. The quote was this: no one can make you feel inferior without your consent. Coming from Bruce Willis, the stutterer, the actor, the big bad guy. He also goes on to say in other articles I've read about Bruce, and I learned this myself, part of overcoming his stutter was taking on a role. He went into acting to change into somebody else. And while he learned to play the role, he learned new tricks to overcome his stutter. It didn't take it away, but he learned how to navigate it better and better with every acting role, with every different persona he took on. He learned how to work his trade of acting and speaking. We're going to do more of this. Tomorrow we'll be back again for another exciting, interesting interview with another stutter all week long here at 2 p.m. with The Trigger. Also, I do want to remind you, coming up tonight, we do have a special event. Do you have a YouTube channel? Do you want to take your YouTube channel to a new level? Are you frustrated by the changing algorithms and the systems, or just getting subscribers forever? YouTube has changed, and there's a lot of exciting things. Hit the QR code there. Join me at 6 p.m. Eastern time tonight, and I'm going to show you new tips, tricks, some of the new things that are happening with YouTube. And if you have a channel that you kind of forgot about, I'm going to help you breathe life back into that channel to help you get the results you want for your business, your brand, your career. Join us tonight, 6 p.m. Eastern time, right there with that QR code, and we're going to help you add some more pop, some more sizzle into your YouTube channel. That's going to do it for today on The Trigger, Rich Bontrager. Thanks to Patrick for being here today, and we'll be back tomorrow once again to celebrate National Stutter